Edition of the Kenya Trade Week kicks off today here in Nairobi. The Trade Week's main aim is to power the Big Four agenda through trade. One now to cross over to my colleague Julie Owino, who's joining us from KICC, where that event is currently taking place. Julie, good morning. I also understand that you will be speaking to the CEO of EPC, Peter Biwott. But before that happens, just give us a glimpse really of what is happening right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Betty. It is quite indeed a very bright morning over this side, and we have the sun all out here at KICC. And one of the greatest events that is happening is the second edition of the Kenya Trade Week, being that we know that most of the country's economy and GDP actually comes from this section of trade, where we have 1.5%, which actually makes 1.5% of trade, which contributes to the country's GDP. At the same time, we have trade creating 1.5 million jobs for Kenyans in the country. And right about now, one of the biggest thing about this event is that it's coming quite at a very timely time in Kenya, where we actually have one of the Big Four agendas is actually to improve the country's economy. And the main function of this trade week this time around is to focus on the Big Four agenda. It is a function that is starting from today, and it is going through to the 3rd of August. And right about now, I am joined by the main organizers of this event, maybe to just give us a quick glimpse of what Kenyans should expect out of this event. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself, and first of all, we'd like to appreciate you for accepting to have this interview with KTN News.
Thank you very much. I'm Peter Biwott. I'm the Chief Executive of Export Promotion Council. We are under the State Department for Trade, and we are part of the organizers of the 2018 Trade Week and Exposition, which basically focuses on looking at the contribution of the trade sector in the realization of the Big Four agenda. So the theme of this event is powering the Big Four agenda through trade. And as you are aware, the current total trade of Kenya currently is at about 2.3 billion Kenya shillings, of which exports are about 600 billion. And the country now is set to work towards enhancing the contribution of the manufacturing sector from the current 8.4% share of the gross domestic product to about 15%. And therefore, this event, the Trade Week, has come at a good time, because apart from having, panel discussions and, dialogue around the key issues which we are focusing on in the next 1 year on trade, which includes the issue of exports development. We are also having an exhibition where we are showcasing some of the key Kenyan products for the export market, which are here to be showcased to Kenyans. So the idea is that we are having our national export strategy, and the national export strategy has been developed and approved by government. And tomorrow, on 31st of July, His Excellency the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, will be launching the document. And the document seeks to, in the next 5 years, enhance Kenya's exports by an average of 25%. So we are looking at how exports, or how the achievements by the government in terms of market access can actually be used to contribute to the Big Four agenda. We are also discussing issues of illicit trade and how they can affect, the other sectors of the economy, because if we do not curb this menace of illicit trade, for example, it can actually hurt our efforts on exports, it can hurt our health center, it can hurt our initiatives around food security, and it can also hurt our investments in the housing sector. So we are just focusing on, achievements by government. We've been able to sign the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Under the Abuja Treaty of 1991, the African continent seeks to establish what we call the African Economic Community by 2028. And therefore, these are some of the discussions. How can Kenya be able to take advantage of the continent in terms of selling our products, which we are showcasing, to increase our contribution in terms of creating jobs for our youth? So basically, that is the focus of this year's Trade Week, and I want to invite all Kenyans to come to KICC so that we can exchange ideas and see what we can do in the next 1 year.
So you've talked about a very key thing, that is one of the recent the recent discussions we have in the country, that is illicit trade. So what do you think Kenyans are failing in terms of illicit trade? Maybe you can give us a suggestion of what we really need to look at to deal with this matter of illicit trade that has been quite a big discussion in the past few months in the country.
Actually, the most important thing, and this is what the Trade Week is doing, is to be able, what we will be doing now this week is to showcase some of those illicit goods here at the exhibition. The reason why we are doing that is because we want to create awareness. One of the ways to curb illicit trade is to ensure that Kenyans are aware and they know about the kind of goods which are illegal, goods which are not good for the economy, so that we can be able to refuse even to buy. Because sometimes, you know, when we have these products in our markets, they will hurt our industries. You see, the focus of the country now is to grow manufacturing. And that is why the question of illicit trade is going to be very key on Wednesday. We are going to have a discussion and you will be able to hear what the government has done so far in terms of, you know, addressing this challenge. And we have what we call a rapid result initiative around this topic. So within Wednesday, you'll be able to understand more, but the focus is, can we be able to create awareness? Can we be able to strengthen our institutions? Can we, all of us as Kenyans, be alert so that we can be able to, you know, deal a blow to this menace of illicit trade?
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your time here. Betty, as you've heard, this is also going to be one of the main discussions. Like Mr. Biwott has said, this is going to be a very big discussion on Wednesday where they can actually come up with ways in which they can curb illicit trade. Of course, you know, this has been a very major discussion in the country for the past few months. And this is what actually Kenyans look out for, to actually get a solution in which they can deal with some of the illicit issues that are going on around the country. Back to you in studio, Betty.
All right. Thank you very much, Julia Wino, my colleague there reporting